So, it's been a fat minute since I posted on YouTube. A lot has went on. Sorry, my nose itched. I don't want to even itch my nose. Um, but a lot has went on, and the reason I'm making this right now is because I was sent to a mental hospital on Wednesday, so like 4 days ago now, 5 days ago, 4 days ago, because it's now Sunday. My friend thought that I was a danger to myself, apparently, and I don't want to make this video as a try and bash her. I'm just expressing how I feel. So if my friend watches this, hi friend. But I want to first talk about the mental hospital before I get to my friend. Or I should talk about my friend first, then get to myself. I'm very all over the place. So what happened is my friend thought I was trying to kill myself. I wasn't trying to kill myself. But to me, she made no efforts to try and call me, to call my wife, which my wife was here prior because she was talking to my wife saying, hey, I'm worried about, your wife's safety. She sent me something very concerning, but she did not try and call my wife. She just called the police and kind of made it seem like, oh my God, my friend's dying and her throat's bleeding, but I'm pretty good. The last time I did try and end my life was in July, and I admit that, and I've been trying to make progress from that. I thought I'd been doing pretty good, but she did block me. Her and her mom, they've been in my life since March. Her mom has called me her adopted daughter. She's called me since March her best friend, because we've grown really close. We were hanging out all summer, and we've been pretty good. So that's why I don't understand. I don't appreciate her not making any other efforts, because since we were hanging out a lot, she does know a lot about my trauma and a lot about me and my mental illnesses. But I think honestly that my friend was a coward and is a coward because she blocked me whenever I was put on hold, because the whole cop issue, that's going to get to that, but I just feel like she should have made more efforts, to try and reach out or even come here. Like, you live maybe 10 minutes away, still in the same town as me, so you could have came over here, knocked on the door instead of making that rational decision, because she knows I have PTSD with cops and men, which most cops are men, and I have PTSD with going to hospitals and getting sent to a mental hospital, which that's all exactly what happened. And was traumatized further from everything that had happened. So I just feel like her mom and her kind of blew up on Julie, which was my wife, and made it seem like, oh, it's your fault, because the very next day, because I was in the ER for over 12 hours because they were just playing around with, something in their hands, and I'm not going to say it on YouTube, but people know the saying. But there was no effort after Julie had let them know, hey, she's on a hold, and, I'm upset right now because my wife stayed in the hospital with me, and she laid in the bed with me the whole time. I was, crying, and we were all trying to figure out what's going on, because I'm I'm ready to go home. I'm not a risk to myself. I was in the middle of making dinner when the cops came, because the cop knocked on the door. I had told them to come in because I thought it was my friend coming for dinner, because he said he was going to come. So I was, in the middle of getting his bowl ready, and I had a knife in my hand because I was cutting up my pork. And the cops came in, I'm like, oh, that's not an African accent because my friend's African. And I heard another, accent, and the cop was Polish, which is why his accent was different. But there were two male cops that came in first, and then one of them was like, hey, can you put that knife down? And I looked at him, I'm like, no, I'm not putting it down. You came uninvited. I'm in the middle of cooking, and I'm cutting something right now, so no, I'm not putting it down. They didn't care. They let me continue cutting up the pork, so obviously I wasn't that dangerous to myself or anyone else that the cop didn't even take it from me. But everyone was drooling over my food. I'm like, you guys can have some. I bet the food was good. It did get wasted, unfortunately, because since I was in the ER and I was getting sent to a hospital and my wife was there with me, I did turn everything off, but since it got left out, it got wasted, which is a shame. And I'm kind of upset about that too, because that smelled so good, and that pork I did taste too was so good. I do have another one, so I'm gonna try and remake that dinner, because it was pork roast, collard greens, and then it was gonna be cornbread, but I didn't make the cornbread yet. I was actually gonna do that after I made his bowl, but then now I'm gonna remake it with some purple potatoes too to put with it. But anyways, I just don't think that my friend made any other efforts, and she's also going to college right now to be a school counselor, which I don't think she can be a school counselor if she's so ready to just call the cops because she doesn't know how to deal with someone with a mental illness. Because she kind of failed on in my opinion, she failed in my opinion with how she handled everything. And now, since she has blocked me without even giving me a chance, I think that's also another coward move. She could have waited until I got out and said, hey, this friendship's really hard on me. I don't think I could do it. I mean, even a break, you know? A break would have been more reasonable than I'm done, I'm blocking you, you know? But there was no thing, because if I need a break from someone, especially someone I've been telling for months that they're my family and my best friend, then I wouldn't block them. I would tell them, I realize I messed up and I kind of feel ashamed and guilty, and I just need a little break to, understand myself and everything, because I understand she's going through a lot. She told me like a week before, when we were hanging out, we were smoking, and she was telling me like she was very overwhelmed with school because she was like going to work and she had internship and she had a lot of essays and stuff to do, which I don't know what that's like, and I'm pretty sure it's very hard for someone in college. But from the way that she acted, it could have been a combination of all of that, and now that she had blocked me, she's probably just exhausted from all that. But I still think if she wanted a break or anything, she could have just said that. Because blocking someone that you've been calling family up until that day, because even that day they were both saying they loved me, her and her mother were both saying they loved me, and being really kind to me, and then they blocked me out of nowhere, and I'm like, I'm just questioning myself. I'm like, what did I do though? What did I do that's so wrong to be blocked? Because to be blocked, I feel it's a petty move sometimes. I mean, if someone's harassing you, then fine, but I didn't have my phone. I didn't know that they did that until I got out, and I'm like, oh, so that's interesting. Because I have DID, which is also rare, what I've been told, because when I went to the hospital, they said, yeah, for the whole time the hospital's been running, we have never had anyone with DID, which, if anyone doesn't know, it's an identity dissociative disorder. No, I'm not a bad person. It just means I have like multiple people in my head. No, they don't tell me to kill myself or kill other people or hurt anyone. It's not like that. It's just, as my therapist said, I'm unique. It's a way that I have dealt with my trauma, everything that has happened to me in my life. Because all of the people that I name in my head, they're kind of emotions. Like, I have Carter. He's the anger one, the one that's had dealt with all the anger that has happened to me. So everyone who is angry that hurt me, or anyone that has hurt me just because they're evil people, he's the one that deals with that, and he protects us. He's like, no one's going to hurt me again. No one's going to touch me inappropriately ever again. He's the one that tries to protect us. And there's like so many others in there. My name's Maddie. I'm the autistic one, the intelligent and cute one. But, so yeah, I just don't think that a lot was played on their parts, because her mom went to Julie, my wife, and was like, you destroyed my daughter. She left out of school. And I'm like, well, if she did leave out of school, that does seem like it would be on her, as I was in the ER at that point dealing with a lot of crap that her daughter had caused me. So I feel like it's kind of like her hiding behind her actions because she doesn't want to understand. Because she did tell my wife, she's like, she's gonna hate me. And I'm like, yeah, I did hate her, actually. I was like, I hate her. She's done. I don't want her in my life, But I didn't even have the chance to even tell her any of that, because I was dealing with so much. So I didn't have a chance to tell her any of that or anything. So that kind of upset me, that I didn't get the chance to tell her any of that. That she just sent me a message kind of telling me she's done, she's overwhelmed, she's tired of getting belittled, right? Or berated. Yeah, she's tired of getting berated. My wife just walked in the door. But she's tired of getting berated. But I can go through all of my messages, and hers and Julie's messages. I don't think that there was ever a point that she was getting berated, especially by me. A few weeks ago, she did take me out to try and have fun with me, and there was a fight with me and my wife that she was there for me, and then my wife and her were like arguing, but that was more of her getting berated, I guess, because my wife was, Julie, weren't you being kind of nasty?
Literally blamed her for every single thing wrong going on in her lives.
Yeah.
And she didn't say a word.
Yeah, so that is obviously okay, and Julie knows that that's not okay, and she has apologized. She has apologized to her for that, because that's done and over with, you know. But like, she wasn't getting belittled or anything. Like, she had told Julie, because she was like, she's gonna hate me, and she's like, yeah, she is gonna hate you because she's on a hold. But instead of dealing with the consequences, she blocks me, and I feel like it's a coward move, because she can't even wait until I'm out the hospital to even confront me. So because she knows the kind of person that I am. But I also don't like the fact that some people can go around calling themselves family and just like, well, they told me multiple times, family doesn't end in blood, you know? But then they pull this, and I'm like, so to me, I felt like, because I've had issues with my own family this year, my in laws, and then now them. So for me, to me personally, it feels like I lost my blood family, because they don't talk to me as much as I want them to. They don't really listen to me as much as I want them to, and I don't really feel heard by them. That is something I'm going to have to talk to them about again. If they don't listen, then I'm going to say at least I tried. Because my uncle already put himself out of my life, which, bye? Because he tried to tell, there was just a lot of stuff. That's just family issue. That's for another video to get into that. But anyways, he's gone. He's out. I don't care. I'm not going to have anyone in my family go around telling people I'm lying. No, I did not lie about my trauma. Everything I said happened to me happened to me. I did not make it up. Because the mental illnesses that I have that have been diagnosed by doctors who have medical license, not just one doctor, but multiple doctors and therapists, they can all see from me talking, because someone would be able to tell if I would be making this shit up for years. Because for years I've been consistent. My mom always told me, if you lie and you try and remember that lie, you're going to mess up whenever you're trying to remember that lie. But if you remember the truth, you're never going to stumble over the truth. You're going to constantly keep saying the same thing if it is the truth, which what I have been doing consistently for how many years, Julie? Since we've known each other, at least 7 years we've known each other. 6, we've been best friends. 5, almost 5 years we've been together. We've almost been together for 5 years in November. So for 5 years straight, my wife has heard me talk about everything in my life, trauma-wise. Have I stumbled? Come sit over here, baby. I'm making the YouTube video. But no, for 5 years straight, I have not stumbled with anything that I have told my wife. Because there's no point to lie about anything, especially about being raped or by any of the other trauma that I had to go through. So, like I said, I just don't appreciate the fact that my so-called best friend and my adopted mother did not try hard enough to stay in my life. They left after one incident of her daughter messing up. But I am going to send her... I'm going to send her mom a message, because we have a text now. I'm not going to be stalkerish and blow up her phone, but I'm going to send her a long message explaining everything that I'm kind of explaining here, just like I don't appreciate everything that happened. And I do want an apology, because I feel like I'm owed an apology by how her and her mother acted, with especially going to an extent of blocking me after... the day before, they were both saying how much they loved me and they're always going to be in my life. I have a screenshot of what she said before she called the police. I love you. I'm always here for you. Blocking me doesn't show me that you're here for me, Miss Ma'am. That shows that you are a coward right now. And honestly, like I said, there's nothing wrong. And I don't mean to sound like a bitch or have the... Oh, I'm sorry. Is that going to get ding?
You're not even making money. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I don't mean to sound mean whenever I'm saying that she is a coward. That's just how I feel, because, like, you cause an incident with your best friend, have your best friend get traumatized, and you can't even apologize or say sorry. I would have at least liked her to come down to the ER and said, bro, I didn't think that it was going to get taken this far. I didn't think that, I was just worried. Like, I can understand you being worried about your best friend, because if she sent me the same thing, I would be like, oh no. But I would have went over there. I would have been calling her, banging on her door, and if she wouldn't have answered within like 10-20 minutes, I'm calling the police, like, look, I'm at her door, she's not answering, please come over here, I'm very worried about her. But she made none of those efforts. But that's what I like to see in people who are in my life if I do send them stuff, because I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I'm like, happy. But I would have liked to see that effort, if I was that danger to myself. But there's no scar. There's nothing there, because nothing happened. it was a simple misunderstanding, because the very last part that really made her call is because I was trying to talk to her, saying that I was trying to tell her I wanted to talk to a cop about, something that I don't want to talk on here right now about, but my wife knows, because I said the exact same thing to my wife, because I can take a screenshot, literally take a screenshot, and show the whole world the same thing I said. I sent the same thing to her, and then I sent the same thing to my best friend, that I wanted to talk to a cop about an issue because I was kind of scared about something that was terrifying me. I was like, maybe I should talk to a cop and see if they can help me, maybe with the restraining order of something. But I did tell her the same thing, but then I sent her a voice message, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not lying. She's not lying. We have receipts to prove it. We have receipts, people. There's no lying. There's no fibbing, nothing. So that happened. So I'm very upset with my, I don't know, do I say ex-best friend or best friend? I don't know. I'm upset with her and her mom. So I'm going to give them the option. I told her mom, I'm going to give you guys a week to figure out what you want to do, if you want to continue to stay in my life. But if they do, I will need a very, very, very big apology. Because the way that they have acted and treated me, I don't appreciate. Because they couldn't even talk to me themselves. They did it and then blocked me. It's not showing that they were bigger people by doing that, because I was not a threat to them and I did not say not one bad thing to them. It's just that I feel like her daughter really did mess up, and she just doesn't want to face the consequences or own up her responsibility and say, yep, I messed up. Because if she at least came at me and said that, I honestly would still be with her. I would probably be over there talking to her right now. I'd be telling her everything that happened in the hospital. But let's get to that. So mental hospitals to me feel like a jail. They do not help me. What helps me is my 2 therapists that I have, and I am very consistent on the medication that I take. So I'm just like, they did up me, because I'm on Seroquel that helps me sleep, because the reason that I was like telling, I wasn't sleeping for 3 days. I don't know why, but maybe hopefully the Seroquel, since it is up from 300 to 400, it can help. It did help in the mental hospital, though, the second night, because the first night I didn't get any of my meds. I only got melatonin. I'm like, I have more meds than this. How many meds do I take at night? A lot. But they didn't give me any of my meds. I wouldn't say I'm fine right now, because I'm not, because I did try and do Instacart today, and I think my PTSD was getting triggered. I'm not really sure. It's just coming from a mental hospital for 3 days, it feels like forever when you're in there. 1 day feels like forever. But being in a mental hospital doesn't help me, and I was transferred to a unit with people who are like really, really not okay in the head, and I was assaulted by a guy. He hit me and 2 other women, because we were like standing in the hallway and he didn't like us standing there, I guess. But then there are people who are like talking to themselves and stuff. But it was just the typical like psych ward you would think when you're like straight jacket. That's as much as I can say, because but then there were a lot of men. I kept telling all the texts, I'm like, I have severe PTSD with men, and these men are very, very close to me, and they're talking to me, they're coming up to me, and I did not deserve to be there, or I did not belong to be there. And all of them kind of figured that out within the second day of me being there. They're like, why are you here? And I'm like, or the first day, they're like, I don't know. Because I was transferred in that night, so the next day, they're like, yeah, you shouldn't be here. Because I was also trying to help them. I don't know why. It's just the kind of person that I am. But I was trying to help them by corralling all of the people while there was like a big incident happening out in the hallway. I was like, come on, let's go in the day room. Like, let's calm down. But those people, I'm not qualified for that. And I did kind of break down, because the last incident that happened, I talked to the doctors and they told them everything. I told them the truth. I'm like, the last time I tried to end my life was in July. It's now almost October. And I'm not going to say that I do want to be alive, because I am still suicidal, but being suicidal doesn't mean you're going to kill yourself. It just means you're suicidal, right? Can you help me explain that better?
Passive suicide.
Yeah.
Basically, where you won't actively go and try and kill yourself, but you have the thoughts of dying, and you won't move if a car was racing towards you, or if a building was on fire, you won't try and
She
leave.
feels the same way though. But that's like a lot of people. Like you probably wouldn't recognize, like you probably wouldn't know the person in front of the grocery store standing in front of you checking out probably feels the same way, that they're suicidal or they're depressed. You would never know. But just because I feel that way doesn't mean I belong in a mental hospital. It just means that I need the support and I need to keep going to therapy to get myself better. Because it's not going to happen just like that. Because I've been in therapy for years. Just more things keep happening in the years that traumatize me or that set me back. Because I feel like I've been set back mentally because of everything that happened in there. Because I was doing okay and everyone there knew. After talking to the doctors, they're like, we're going to try and get you out, but you are in a 72-hour hold, so we have to abide by that. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I was kind of irritated, but I can't really fight with the law. So I'm out now. Just didn't like being in there. Because I also had to strip down and they had to see me naked to see if I was hiding things. That's embarrassing, you know? Very embarrassing and humiliating to have people see you like that. Because I was like, no. I don't think anyone would want anyone else to see them unless it's their partner, you know? To see them naked just to make, oh, lift up your belly fold. Is there anything? That's very embarrassing and I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. They looked at my butt. They looked down there on my, kitty cat and underneath my belly because I have like my belly right here. Like it's hard to explain, whatever. So that's embarrassing and humiliating. That's another part where I don't like it, and I don't get my own clothes and I stink. They have really bad shampoo, like deodorant there. Like my armpits stunk really bad. So the first thing I did when I got home last night, took a shower. And I still feel like I smell myself, but I don't think I do. I think I'm just smelling my odor and it's gross. I did meet some really nice people in there yesterday though. Or I did meet them after, because I got transferred to another unit after I got threatened, because I got hit prior the day before for no reason in my shoulder, and it hurts still. But then I was writing like a note when everyone else went to dinner, and they asked if I wanted to go, and I'm like, nope, because I'm not going with those people. If they start getting mad if I look in their direction, because there was multiple fights, and I was like asking what happened. They're like, oh, well, he looked in his direction. I'm like, what? And he attacked him for it? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, don't look in their direction. But I had gotten close to this African girl, Cecilia. She was a very sweet 22-year-old, but I do believe she has untreated PTSD. I'm not going to get into her story, but that's just what I think. And I feel very sad. And I really hope she gets the help she needs. But I don't think she belongs in that unit. I think she just is very depressed. She just wanted out of there because she was like, I'm normal, you're normal. And I'm like, and because she's African, the culture is different here and the words are different here. So I think that a lot of things are getting miscommunicated because she is African and they don't understand her. I understand her because I have an African friend, and it's interesting talking to him to hear his way of life and to hear my way of life. But anyways, I was in the middle of writing something as she went to lunch. And I was writing her a little, because I got her a journal for her because she didn't want to ask for it. So I did for her. And I was writing in it, pretty much telling her she is strong and beautiful. And I was going up to her to, like, knock on the window to the nurses, because since we were in a really bad unit, we had to, like, be separated from the nurses for obvious reasons. But I was going to go up there and knock on the window, and this other guy, he had seen me, and he turned around, he was like, get the F away from me now. And I'm like, he's like, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was backed up a little bit more, and he, like, swung at me, and I backed up more. But then I think my PTSD because I have PTSD by men, I think that did get triggered, because I'm trying to realize what it's like, but I was terrified after he threatened me, because I thought he was going to hurt me. And I kind of backed up a lot. And I did not look at him because I was like, if I look at him, what if it makes him worse? So I was kind of not making eye contact with him, looking everywhere else but him. I was trying to wave at the cameras. I'm like, hello, he just threatened me. Come get me out of this place. And then he had went out the doors and was causing some trouble with the staff, because I found he was underage and he was also smoking, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm going to say that. But he was caught smoking. Yeah. getting treated like crap in the ER too, because they were very, very not good. They wouldn't let my wife back at first because they were saying she was being hostile with the doctors, which that is because the last time I was sent to that is because last time I was sent to a mental hospital. I mean, I'm sorry, my brain's working too fast. I'm sorry if I'm confusing other people. But the reason is because the last time I got sent to that hospital, because it's Banner Health in Greeley, Colorado. If anyone wants to know, don't go to the hospital. Or UC Health in Greeley, Colorado. Don't go to the hospital. But I was there like a few weeks, maybe a month, I think, prior, because I had a seizure, and one of the doctors came in, and my service dog was on the bed, and first he was like, oh, the service dog growled at me, get it off of the bed and out of the room. Mind you, my service dog did not growl at him. She did not growl. It was the bed, it creaked because someone had leaned on it, and it was a hospital bed, which they creak, right? They creak. So they were also telling him, because they gave me lorazepam, which did not mix well with me, which she thinks that I'm allergic to because the way that my body reacted to it. So I'm not sure exactly all what happened. Can you tell them or whoever watches what happened? Like what happened that led up to him getting cussed out? Because
literally nothing, because I didn't curse him out. I literally didn't curse him out. I get hostile when I'm upset and irritated, and I, like, sound very hostile, but I didn't curse him out. Like, at all.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I even, with attitude, took Cora off of you and just held on to her. Like, I held her in my lap until he was fucking done. Because he was complaining so much. And I knew if I put her on the ground, she would have hopped right back.
He was being very mean, apparently, and I still have pictures because he was touching me, and my PTSD was getting triggered by men. I don't care if they are a doctor, if they are a cop. I don't care. If I have PTSD with men, that means I have PTSD with men, and don't touch me, and don't get near me, and don't get in my face. So when I told him, I'm like, I'm scared of you, he started squeezing me more and getting mad at me because I was scared of him. Because I guess he didn't like that, and they were trying to tell him, like, let's go home, I'm fine, it's just a seizure. And of course, everyone who was like, of course, because I have PNES, psychogenic non-epileptic seizures. They are still seizures, trust me, they're still seizures. They're just a different kind of seizures because they're non-epileptic seizures, but they're still seizures, trust me. If anyone wants to know that, they should look it up and be educated in it. But apparently these doctors here in this town are not educated in what I have. And it's not rare as my other diagnosis is DID, from what she looked up and what I was told. But they were saying that, they're like, oh, well, last time you were here, you were being really aggressive with the doctors. I'm like, because my wife was trying to tell the doctors to get away from me because they were scaring me, because I was literally crying, asking and begging the doctor to let go of me because he was holding on so tightly. I don't know what they were trying to do. It was a little confusing and blurry, but all I know is I was crying, saying, please let go of me, please let go of me, please get away from me. He would not let go of me no matter what I said, and I was getting loud because he was scaring me. So, because in my mind at that moment, I'm like, he's going to hurt me. He's going to hurt me because anytime men get mad, they hurt me. That's why I have PTSD with men, because I have a lot of trauma with that. I don't want to get into that right now. But he wouldn't listen to me, and he just hurt me. But he did leave bruises on me. He left bruises underneath my arms, and I have pictures of those, because apparently they just squeezed too hard. I'm like,
the
no.
Tourniquet, like, left a whole line wrapping around bruise because he, like, tied it so tight.
They were just being very, very rude. But again, there I was getting treated really bad, and the counselor who came in to assess me at 4 a.m. because I was in the room since 8 until 11 the next day. So Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, 11 the next morning. Lovely, right? But they were all treating me bad because one of the nurses, and it's on video, so I'm gonna go back to Banner, and I'm already taking legal action against UC Health. So I don't know if I'm gonna need to take legal action against Banner for how they acted, because from what I heard one of the nurses, because I'm like, please, can you back up? I have PTSD with men. Because the girl had came in there and did her assessment on me finally at 4 o'clock after nobody was in there. No one came in there. They made their decision in the hallway to send me to a mental hospital without talking to me, which I don't appreciate that at all. I don't. I kept telling them I should not go to a mental hospital. I'm safe. I'm not going to hurt anyone, nor am I not going to hurt anyone else. I have plans. Like, I'm not going to hurt myself. My plan was to have dinner with my wife. That did not happen because someone felt incompetent. They felt entitled that I was in danger, which I would really like to see their proof of how I was in that much danger to go to a hospital and be put on a hold without someone talking to me. That's very unprofessional. But she finally came in there, she did her assessment. I was honest with her about everything, and she told me outright, she's like, no, you don't have schizophrenia and bipolar. That's impossible. And I'm like, you're not my doctor. You can't make that decision because you don't know me. Only talking to me for like half an hour doesn't mean you can make that decision because you don't know me. I'm not that bad. I mean, I am bad, but I'm not bad, you know? But I don't think that she has that right or that call to make that decision to say if what I have and I don't have. My therapist make that call. My therapist can tell her straight up, yep, we know what she has. We have been in her life for a long time. Well, my therapist has been in my life for like 2.5 years. Huh?
The nurse literally said that to a person that has a rare disorder.
What?
DID.
Mm-hmm.
She literally said, it's impossible for you to have schizophrenia and bipolar. As she was telling you, someone with a rare disorder.
Yep. Because people don't want to believe me. And I don't like really telling people, and this is going to be a hard video to upload, but I don't like telling people I have DID because then they just assume I'm crazy, and I'm not crazy. I'm very well sane. Sometimes I can act crazy, but that is also why I'm getting help. And I've come a long way, but I've also been set back because of what has happened. So after that, of course, they told me I was going to send to a hospital. I was upset. I was crying. I was yelling. And then they were like, we're going to have to take your wife out of the room. I'm like, hell no, you're not. I'm like, you're not taking her. You know why? She's my safe place. She's my safe person. If you take her out of the room, I know I'm going to get worse because you're leaving me alone. I do not like being alone. They didn't care. I was not letting her go. And guess who didn't leave the room? Guess who got what they wanted? My wife staying with me because my wife was literally the only thing keeping me there. And then she did tell her, she's like, well, you're now holding her hostage. Jules, what did you say to her?
It's only being held hostage if it's against your will.
I'm like, yeah, you tell her because I'm like holding her hostage. I'm like, you're just trying to find any way to make me even seem more crazy and more like I need to be in a mental hospital because they get mad that I try and prove them wrong because I'm like, I'm not crazy. I'm not suicidal. I'm not a risk. But she's like, well, you're a risk. And she's like, you just have bipolar with some psychosis. I'm like, I'm glad you're my therapist, huh? I'm glad we've been knowing each other for a while for you to make that decision on me. Because I'm also autistic. Autistic people do seem a little odd to other people who are not educated in it. But, so she just looked this up. The disorder affects between 0.01 and 1% of the population. It can occur at any age. Women are more likely than men to have DID. And I have DID. Want to know why? I've been diagnosed with it by my therapist. So, and doctors. So, yeah. I'm not going to have anyone else who does not have a medical license or who does not know me to make a judgment on me when they don't even talk to me properly and not talk to me like I'm just a kid. So, yeah. But anyways, the whole night was just terrible. And all they gave me, because I'm on more meds, but all they gave me that night was just Seroquel, 300 milligrams. They first tried to give me 250, and I'm like, no, I'm on 300. She also looked up,
Can a person have schizophrenia and bipolar? And it says, also, a person can have both schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, which can complicate the diagnosis. Some people have schizoaffective disorder, which involves a combination of schizophrenia symptoms and those of a mood disorder.
Simple Google research. Simple Google research. We don't even have a medical license, and we know that. So I'm very interested to see what my therapists are going to say this week, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, well, we have our hands full, because I'm going to be honest, like I said, I feel like I have been set back mentally. But after I was told that, I was, like I said, I was crying, I was kind of yelling and getting a little loud, and she was like, hey, you have to calm down, like whispering in my ear and kissing my cheek and stuff. I'm like, you have to calm down. And I was crying, I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. And then I had turned around and there was this guy standing at the door, and all I said was, can you please back up? I have PTSD with men. Just back out of my view. Please, thank you. And I was being very nice like that, even though I was upset. I was crying while telling him that. And what did he say? Because all I heard was fucking glad, like fucking, wait, what did he say?
Fucking gladly crazy.
And he walked away. That's why I was like, that is very unprofessional of someone to call me crazy or get pissed because I have PTSD. I'm sorry. Can you go through what I go through? And then whenever that gender gets near you in your heart, for no reason, just start speeding up and getting scared for no reason. It's called PTSD. These people are so incompetent and they push my boundaries. And when I get mad, I'm the bad guy. No. They're going to have a big, I'm going to go there tomorrow and I'm going to tell them. Actually, I'm going to go there Tuesday, and I'm going to tell them off because I have a therapy appointment Tuesday, and then I have another one Thursday because I am seeing both of them this week, which I'm very happy to see. But I did get sent there, and then I got sent to the wrong unit, but I did get transferred after I got threatened in that unit by that one guy, and then I went to another unit, 300, which is for people more suicidal and more lower than that, so we were more free to have our things and do whatever. And I did feel a little better over there. I still didn't want to be there, but they kept their promise and they talked to me and I was honest with them, which anyone who does go to the mental hospital involuntary or voluntary, please just accept the help and be very honest with them. Unless that they're not a really good mental hospital, you know. But it wasn't that bad for the remainder of the time I was there. I still wanted out, but I did make a good bit of friends, and I did give them my number. I hope they do talk to me, but I don't expect them to. I just like to be their friend, and I like to support them while I was in there. They were very good people. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to rat them out or have anyone try and go find them. So I got out, like I said, last night, and then she took me to IHOP because I was so hungry. Their food in there is garbage. But yeah, this is just my venting video right now, and hopefully life gets a little better. We're still hoping for her to get more hours at work because she hasn't been getting that many hours, so we're hoping she can either get another job or get more hours because it's 20 hours a week getting paid barely $400. Now that's not paying our bills, not when our rent's $14.70 a month. I do get disability, which I am going to help out on my part. I do hope I can come back and make another YouTube video. And by the way, this is my fall look. I was supposed to make it on the 22nd, but I was in the hospital. But how do I look? And this is my mermaid hair. I don't think I've updated you guys. It's purple, blue, and green. I hope you guys like it. And these are fake tattoos. They're not real. I do want some real tattoos. I'm going to be all tatted out, though. But I'm going to go eat. We're going to have breakfast for dinner, which we're going to have a homemade biscuit, like a homemade gravy with some sausage. And we're having biscuits, eggs, and turkey sausage. So I hope everyone has a great day or night. And I really hope this video helps someone to feel not alone if they're terrified of going to a mental hospital, or if they've had any bad experiences. You're not alone in this world because I'm here. And if you ever want to talk, you can talk to me or you can talk to my wife because we know what it's like to have a mental illness. And I'm going to open up a little bit more about my mental illnesses. So I'm going to go ahead and post this now, and I hope everyone has a great day or night. Bye!